Hi, my name is David Taylor, and I'd like to tell you an exciting story about how HANA is delivering innovation for utility companies. Back in 2014, a utility company put out an RFP to replace their CRM system. SAP answered the call, and even though they were using a competitor's solution to run their GL and their financials, SAP ultimately won the business, and HANA was one of the key reasons why they chose to go with SAP. They saw HANA as a platform of the future, a platform that would ultimately allow them to reduce their total cost of ownership, and a platform that would really enable their stakeholders to do things they hadn't been able to do before. In fact, after they purchased our CRM solution, we immediately began talking with them about ways in which SAP could help bring them value today instead of waiting until they were live with their CRM system. One of the ways we did this was engaging with this customer around design thinking sessions. That is, getting together in a room, using a lot of sticky notes and a lot of conversations and collaboration to understand some of the current most pressing business problems that they were facing and how SAP technology could potentially help solve those challenges. One of the ideas coming out of those design thinking sessions in particular was an idea that was able to go from idea to implementation in about 10 short weeks. That idea had to do with how this utility company was having to do reconciliation. The challenge was that they were selling gas to other utilities in a deregulated market, and they needed to be able to reconcile the detailed billings that they had done within their mainframe system together with the summarized transactions that existed within their GL environment. And the problem was, of course, that customers didn't always pay their full amount, or sometimes there would be a challenge with the charges because there were so many different jurisdictions involved. They would have to cancel and rebill because some jurisdictions allowed pass-through charges, others did not, etc. And so the problem they had was because they weren't able to do a proper reconciliation, they were going to potentially have to do a write-off. In fact, they estimated that it was going to cost them about $750,000 to make changes to their mainframe environment, and it was going to take them 6+ months to be able to deliver those changes. And the other challenge was, of course, if they did not make those changes, they were potentially going to do a $4.5 million write-off, and that was something they desperately wanted to avoid. So what SAP did was we took 200 million transactions from their mainframe environment, we loaded them up into the HANA Enterprise Cloud environment. Now this particular company decided they wanted a 1 terabyte HANA environment hosted by SAP in the HANA Enterprise Cloud, and they also requested us to put a BI environment in place for them as well. And once they had decided to go forward with this particular project and we were able to get the data into the cloud, it literally took 2 people 3 weeks to be able to deliver the results for the customer. And we were able to put our Analysis for Office Excel tool right on top of these calculation views that we had used to recreate the detailed billing rules associated with these detailed transactions that had come out of their mainframe environment. And the customer was very excited with the results and ultimately was able to solve their reconciliation problem that they were dealing with. What was really exciting for them as well is the fact that from a prototyping perspective, it was only costing them about $20,000 a month to be able to have this single HANA terabyte environment in the cloud together with a business objects environment alongside it. And that once they were ready to deploy it in a more fuller mode, it was only going to cost them about $60,000 a month to have the system deployed in that particular manner. So here is just another example of how customers within the utility industry are getting value out of HANA. In this particular case, again, they're able to leverage HANA to enable their business stakeholders to get information they hadn't been able to get before, in this case being able to avoid a potentially expensive write-off. It was allowing them to reduce their total cost of ownership because they didn't have to make these additional investments into their mainframe system. And it also was allowing them to have a platform of the future where this mainframe information could be loaded up and they could do supplemental reporting and analysis on top of that data to ultimately deliver the insight that was required to solve this reconciliation problem. So SAP is available to solve these kinds of problems and many, many others for utility companies across North America and across the world.